The human starship Aurora Dawn drifted slowly above a small moon. It was not a rich world, not a world with shining oceans or green forests, but it was strange, and strange places always carried secrets. The crew had been traveling for weeks, searching for signs of intelligent life. They had seen ruins before, abandoned structures, broken towers, silent cities lost to time. But this moon was different. The scanners showed movement, heat signatures that walked like living things, and claw marks too deep for machines to make. Inside the ship, the crew gathered near the main screen. They watched the strange shapes move through the mist, tall shadows shifting between rocks. A low sound came from the moon, carried through the airwaves, a howl, long and heavy like a call to the wild. Some of the younger crew shivered, their eyes wide. No one wanted to admit they were afraid, but the fear was there, breathing in the room like a second presence. Captain Alara stood at the front, calm but sharp. Her eyes followed the shadows on the screen. She had been trained to expect the unexpected, but deep inside, her heart felt heavy. She had seen war. She had seen monsters, but this was something else. This was first contact, and it was never supposed to feel like this. First contact was meant to be peaceful, hopeful, a moment when two worlds met as friends. But what she saw did not look like friendship. It looked like a warning. "Landing party, prepare," she said, her voice strong and clear. The crew obeyed, checking weapons, scanners, and translators. None of them spoke much. Everyone knew that silence before danger, the silence that was louder than words. The ship touched down on Black Rock. Mist curled around the landing struts like white snakes. The door opened with a slow hiss, and the cold air of the moon rushed inside. It smelled of dust, iron, and something wild, like the scent of a storm before it breaks. The first step onto alien soil always carried weight. This was history, the kind that people would remember for centuries. Yet the ground felt wrong under their boots. It was soft, torn by claws, and each mark was fresh. Lieutenant Rin bent down, running his hand over one of the marks. "This isn't old," he whispered, his voice tight. "They were here, recently." The crew looked around, eyes darting from one shadow to another. The mist moved like a living thing, curling and bending in shapes that looked almost like faces. Another howl rose from the distance, louder this time, echoing against the cliffs. The sound carried strength, hunger, and something more. It felt like a call for them. Alara raised her hand, signaling everyone to hold position. Her breath made small clouds in the cold air. Her mind raced. Protocol said they should wait, try to send peaceful signals, but instinct told her they were already being watched. They were not the hunters here. They were the prey. The crew set up a light beacon, the beam cutting through the fog. For a moment, nothing happened. Then movement, fast, sudden, powerful. A shadow darted across the rocks, too quick to follow with human eyes. One of the crew gasped, gripping his weapon. Another shape appeared, then another. They were surrounded, even though they could not see the faces of what watched them. The air grew heavy. Every sound, every breath felt sharper, louder. The ground vibrated under their boots, as if something huge walked nearby. The silence broke with a low growl, deep and heavy. It came from the darkness in front of them. From a mist, a figure stepped out. It was tall, taller than any human, with broad shoulders covered in dark fur that shimmered under the cold light. Its eyes glowed with a strange silver fire, piercing through the fog like blades. Its claws scraped the ground, long and curved. The crew froze, caught between terror and awe. This was no ordinary creature. It was intelligent. It was watching them, studying them, judging them. No one spoke. No one dared to move. The alien raised its head, sniffing the air as if tasting their fear. Then it opened its mouth, sharp teeth gleaming, and to their shock, it spoke. The voice was deep, broken, rough, but clear enough to understand. "You from stars," it said, its glowing eyes fixed on Alara. "You mine now?" The words hit the crew like thunder. Fear twisted into confusion. confusion into disbelief. This was not peace, not greeting, not welcome. This was demand. This was claim. The alien stepped closer, its claws clicking on the stone. The mist curled tighter around it, as if even the air obeyed. The humans raised their weapons, hands shaking, but the captain lifted her hand, signaling them to hold. Her heart pounded, but her voice stayed steady. "Who are you?" she asked. The alien growled low, the sound like rocks breaking under weight. Its answer was simple, sharp, and final. "Your mate," it said, pointing its claw at her. The crew gasped, eyes wide. The silence after those words was heavier than the howl before. Alara felt the weight of every gaze, human and alien. This was not the first contact she had dreamed of. This was something else, something darker, something dangerous, something that had only just begun. The silence after the alien's words felt endless. The crew stood frozen, unable to believe what they had just heard. The mist wrapped around their legs, cold and heavy, like chains made of fog. The alien's silver eyes burned brighter, never leaving the captain's face. Alara did not move. Her training told her to stay calm, but her heart raced in her chest like a drum. She had faced battles before, pirates, storms, even machine uprisings, but nothing felt like this. This was not a fight of guns or ships. This was personal, raw, primal. It was a demand that no human had ever prepared for. Lieutenant Rin shifted at her side, his hand trembling over his weapon. "Captain, say the word," he whispered, barely a breath. Alara gave no order. She knew one shot would mean death for them all. The shadows around them stirred, more glowing eyes blinking in the mist, dozens, maybe more. The crew realized the truth. They were surrounded by a pack, and this one was their leader. The alien stepped closer, each movement slow, controlled, full of power. Its claws scraped sparks against the black rock. The mist swirled as though pulled by its body. It stopped only a few feet away from Alara, its breath rising in white clouds, hot and sharp. The smell of iron and ash rolled over her. It bent its head down, close enough for her to see the scars that crossed its muzzle, the deep marks of old battles. This was not only a predator, it was a warrior. "You fear," it growled, voice low, broken yet full of force. "Good. Fear makes bonds strong." The crew flinched at the words, not from their meaning, but from the weight of them. Every sound it made carried power, as if even the ground obeyed. Alara steadied her breath, her voice firm. "We came in peace," she said, her words clear. "We bring no harm." The alien tilted its head, eyes narrowing. It repeated the words slowly, like testing them. "Peace, no harm," it said, then gave a sound like a laugh too deep, too wild. The sound echoed through the mist, and more howls answered from the distance. The crew's stomachs turned cold, for that sound was not joy, it was warning. "You not choose," the alien said, its claw rising, pointing at Alara again. "Stars send you to me." The words made no sense to the crew, but the creature spoke them with such belief, such finality, that even doubt felt dangerous. Rin stepped forward, anger cutting through his fear. "She is not yours," he shouted, his voice sharp. The alien's head turned slowly toward him, silver eyes flashing. For a moment, no one breathed. Then, with terrifying speed, the alien lunged. It moved faster than the human eye could follow, a blur of fur and shadow. Rin stumbled back, his weapon half raised, but the alien stopped an inch from his throat, its claw resting lightly on his skin, sharp enough to break with the smallest push. The crew shouted, some raised rifles, but Alara's voice cut through them. "Hold fire," she ordered, her tone leaving no room for doubt. The crew obeyed, though fear boiled inside them. The alien growled deep, then withdrew its claw, turning its head back to Alara. "Only me, and you," it said. "Others live if bond made." The weight of the words hung over the crew like a storm cloud. The humans looked at their captain, their faces pale, waiting for her choice. But Alara gave none. Her eyes locked with the aliens, searching for reason, for weakness, for anything human inside those burning silver lights. Yet all she saw was hunger, not for flesh, but for something greater, something deeper. The alien turned suddenly and raised its head to the sky. It howled, the sound tearing through the mist, shaking the rocks under their boots. The other shapes in the fog moved closer, glowing eyes circling tighter, a living wall of shadows. The crew's fear climbed higher, their hands gripping weapons though they dared not fire. The howl ended, but the silence after felt even louder. Then, from the shadows, another figure appeared, smaller, thinner, its fur pale, its eyes dim. It limped forward, bowing low before the leader. Its voice was softer, broken, like whispers carried on the wind. "Prophecy complete," it said. "Starwoman here." The crew exchanged confused looks, whispers rising between them. Prophecy, bond, marriage. None of it made sense. Yet the alien spoke as if fate itself demanded it. The leader stepped close to Alara again, its breath hot, its words sharp. "You mine," it repeated. "You lead, or you die." Alara felt her blood run cold. The pack pressed closer, the mist closing in with them. Her crew looked to her for answers, for orders. But she knew one wrong word, one wrong move could end them all. She stood tall, her voice strong though her heart thundered. "Then speak your prophecy," she said. "Let me hear it with my own ears." The alien's silver eyes burned brighter. It leaned closer, its words slow, heavy, final. "Prophecy say, Starwoman, take hand of beast, or stars fall on her people." The crew's faces filled with dread. For the first time, Alara felt the weight of something greater than war, greater than peace. This was not just survival. This was destiny, and it had only begun. The air on the moon felt heavier after the alien's words. The crew stood in silence, their breath turning white in the mist. Every pair of silver eyes in the shadows glowed brighter, waiting, watching. The prophecy had been spoken, and the demand had been made. Captain Alara kept her stand strong, though her mind turned like a storm. A prophecy, a bond, marriage, none of this was in her training. She had prepared for diplomacy, for trade, for war if needed, but not this. Not a demand for her hand in front of her crew. Not from a creature who looked like both beast and warrior. The alien leader stepped closer, its claws dragging lines across the stone. Its voice rose, deeper, stronger, as though speaking for all of its kind. "Bond must be made, or blood will be spilled," it growled. "You will take my hand, Starwoman, or your people will never leave this moon." The crew stirred, anger and fear mixing in their eyes. Lieutenant Wren whispered fiercely, "Captain, we can't let this happen." Another voice muttered, "We have weapons, we can fight." But even as they spoke, the pack tightened its circle. Dozens of glowing eyes closed in, silent but deadly. One spark of violence, and the humans would be drowned in claws and teeth. Alara raised her hand, silencing her crew. She knew what they did not. This was not only about strength. This was about belief, about destiny, about something the aliens lived by. Killing their leader might not end the threat. It could make it worse. The smaller, pale alien, the one who had spoken of prophecy, limped forward again. It bowed its head low and spoke in a softer voice. "Long ago the sky spoke," it said. "Fire fell from the heavens, and the ancients wrote the words in stone." It raised a claw, pointing toward the cliffs. Through the mist, faint carvings glowed on the rock, strange symbols half hidden by fog. The stone says, "When the Starwoman comes, the beast shall rise, and the bond shall save the people." The crew stared at the glowing carvings, their fear shifting into unease. This was not random, not a trick. The aliens truly believed this prophecy. They believed Alara was meant for it. Alara felt her chest tighten. Her crew needed her to stand against this madness. But if she mocked it, if she refused, would they all die here? Her mind spun between logic and survival. The alien leader watched her closely, reading her silence. "Choose," it growled, voice like thunder. Take my hand, or I take your lives. The crew tensed, weapons half raised, eyes wide. The mist seemed to press closer, heavy with expectation. Every second stretched long, the weight of choice crushing Ilara's chest. She could hear her heartbeat echo in her ears, louder than the howls in the distance. But then she spoke, her voice calm, steady, unshaken. If you want a bond, you must explain its meaning, she said. My people do not take hands in blindness. Her words hung in the air, sharp and clear. For a moment, the alien leader's silver eyes narrowed. Then, to the crew's surprise, it gave a slow nod. The beast warrior raised its claw and tapped its chest. Ba means life, it growled. It means leader, mate, protector. Its words were jagged, broken, but the meaning was clear. You take me, you rule with me. You guide my people, you share my strength. The smaller alien added, without bond, our kind falls to war, our packs fight, our world burns. It looked at Ilara with eyes full of desperation. You must lead, or we will die. The humans exchanged nervous looks. This was not just demand, it was plea, but it was also trap. For to accept meant being bound to this alien, tied to its fate and its people. And to refuse meant open war. Lieutenant Rin clenched his fists. They're using you, Captain, he said under his breath. This is control, nothing more. But another crew member whispered, what if it's true? What if her choice decides a whole species? Ilara felt torn between two impossible paths. Her duty was to her crew, her mission, her people, but her heart told her something else. There was power in prophecy, even if it was not hers. And there was danger in ignoring it. The alien leader lowered its claw, holding it out toward her. Take, it growled. Now! The pack around them howled together, the sound rising like a storm. The mist shook, the rocks trembled, the air burned with tension. The crew stood ready, fingers on triggers, waiting for Ilara's word. Every path led to blood. Every choice led to fire. The alien's silver eyes locked on hers, unblinking, unbreaking. The moment of decision had come. But just before she could move, the sky above cracked with thunder. The clouds split apart as lights cut through the mist. Not starlight, ship lights, cold and sharp. A voice boomed through the comms. Unidentified vessel, stand down. Another ship had arrived, hovering above the moon, its weapons aimed, its engines roaring. The crew looked up in shock, their fear twisting into hope. But the alien leader only growled deeper, silver eyes burning brighter. Others come, it said, its voice like stone breaking. They want you too. The demand was not over. It had only grown. The sky burned with the glow of engines. The second ship hovered above the moon, its bright lights cutting through the mist. The crew of the Aurora Dawn looked up with hope in their eyes. Rescue, they thought, safety, protection, an end to this nightmare. But Captain Ilara did not move. Her instincts whispered that hope was dangerous. This new ship was not a friend. Not yet. Its arrival had changed the balance, but not the danger. The alien leader growled, its silver eyes never leaving her. Others come for you, it said, voice low, heavy. They take you, they break you, they kill us all. The words struck the crew like coal knives. Were these invaders or saviors? No one knew. The mist thickened around them, stirred by the movement of the pack. Dozens of glowing eyes blinked in the fog, shifting closer, restless, uneasy. The aliens were not afraid, but they were not calm either. They were animals sensing another predator in the air. The ship above sent a signal, a voice cracking through the comms. Unidentified crew, state your condition. The humans froze, glancing at Ilara, waiting for her order. But before she could speak, the alien leader snarled. Do not answer, it growled. Skymen lie. Skymen steal. They not yours. Ilara's jaw tightened. She stood between two dangers, one above and one around. Her crew looked at her, desperate for guidance. Lieutenant Rin stepped forward, his voice hard. Captain, we have to respond. This might be command, this might be rescue. But another crew member whispered, "What if he's right? What if they're worse?" Tension split the humans in two. Some raised their comms, ready to call for help. Others stayed frozen, afraid to anger the pack. The mist seemed to press closer, thick as stone walls. The air carried a charge, like the storm before lightning. The alien leader moved closer to Alara, lowering its claw, but not its gaze. "You choose wrong, you die," it said. "You call them, they burn you." Its voice rumbled through the rocks beneath their boots. Every word felt final, like judgment. Alara's mind raced. The other ship could save them or destroy them. The alien could protect them or claim them forever. And her crew was breaking under the weight of choice. Fear had turned them against each other. "Captain," Rin said sharply, his weapon half raised, "we can't trust this beast. We have to act now." Another voice rose from the crew. "No, listen to it. The prophecy is real. You saw the carvings." Their whispers turned into shouts, anger burning through fear. For the first time, Alara saw not unity, but cracks. Her people were splitting. The alien pack growled, the sound rolling like thunder. They could smell the weakness, the division. Predators always knew when prey broke apart. Alara raised her voice, cutting through the chaos. "Enough," she commanded, her tone sharp as steel. Silence fell, broken only by the growl of the alien leader. Alara stepped forward closer to the beast, her eyes locked on its burning silver gaze. "If you want me to trust you," she said, her voice strong, "then prove it. Prove your words are truth." The alien tilted its head, studying her. "Truth already in stone," it said, but its eyes glimmered with something else, something almost like respect. The ship above the moon shifted, its weapons glowing faintly. The comms crackled again. "Unknown forces detected. Prepare to surrender," the voice commanded. The words carried no kindness, only threat. The crew's fragile hope shattered. This was no rescue. This was power. This was conquest. The alien leader snarled, claws scraping sparks against stone. It turned its gaze to the sky, its voice rising. "They hunt us both," it growled. "They want Star Woman. They want our end." It looked back at Alara, its eyes fierce, unyielding. "You mine, or you theirs?" The choice cut deep, sharper than any blade. Her crew stared at her, caught between terror and disbelief. The pack circled closer, their howls low, ready, waiting. The ship above aimed weapons at them all. One wrong word, one wrong move, and fire would fall. Alara felt the weight of two worlds press on her shoulders. Her heart thundered, her mind turned. To choose the alien meant surrender to prophecy, to bind herself to this beast warrior. To call the ship meant risking betrayal, chains, or death. And to refuse both meant war from above and below. Her voice came steady, though her soul burned. "I will not bow to threats," she said. "Not from sky, not from stone." Her words echoed into the mist. The alien leader's silver eyes flashed. It gave a low, rumbling growl, not of anger, but of something darker. "You strong," it said slowly, "stronger than I thought." The pack howled, the sound tearing the air like thunder. The ship above charged its weapons, beams of light glowing in the clouds. The ground shook, the air cracked. The mist itself seemed to scream. And Alara stood in the middle, the storm's heart, caught between the claws of beasts and the fire of the sky. Her next choice would decide who lived and who burnt. The moon trembled under the weight of two threats. Above, the ship hovered like a predator of metal and fire. Below, the pack circled, glowing eyes fixed on their prey. And in the center stood Alara, torn between forces she did not yet understand. The alien leader's silver eyes burned brighter. "You see," it growled, pointing its claw to the sky. "They come for you, not for us, not for peace." Its words sank into her chest like stones in water. But before she could speak, the comms cracked again. "Captain Alara," the voice said, cold and sharp. "We know who you are. Surrender yourself now, and your crew may live." The crew froze, their hope breaking like glass. They had prayed for rescue, but this voice carried no rescue, only chains. How did they know her name? Alara had not spoken a word. Her blood ran cold. The alien leader's growl deepened, its claws digging into the stone. See, it said, its voice full of grim victory. They hunt you, prophecy true. Alara's mind turned fast. Why her? Why always her? The carvings on the cliffs, the aliens' demand, and now this ship calling her by name. It was no accident. This was not chance. This was design. Lieutenant Rin stepped forward, rage flashing in his eyes. Captain, they know you. They planned this, he hissed. Another crew member whispered, it's a trap from the start. Fear grew inside the group, twisting their loyalty into doubt. Some eyes looked at her not with trust, but with suspicion. The alien leader watched silently, its expression unreadable. It was not surprised. It was as if it had known this truth all along. The comm's voice pressed on. You are marked, Captain. Your blood carries what we need, what they need. The words struck like thunder. Her blood, her very being, not her ship, not her crew, her. Alara steadied her breath. What do you mean? She asked, her voice sharp. But the voice gave no answer, only a final command. Submit now, or burn with them. The ship's lights flared brighter, weapons humming. The crew shifted nervously, fear turning to panic. Some looked to the sky, others to the mist. They were caught between fire and fog. The alien leader stepped closer, its silver eyes blazing. Now you see, it said. Prophecy true, Star Woman chosen, hunted, desired. It lowered its claw again, offering it to her. Take bond, live, refuse, all die. But something inside Alara stirred. Something deeper than fear, deeper than doubt. She was not prey. She was not tool. Her fate was not for others to write. Her voice came strong, unshaken. Tell me everything, she said to the alien. No more half words, no more riddles. Why me? The pack fell silent, their growls fading. Even a mist seemed to pause. The alien leader's chest rose and fell with heavy breaths. It turned slowly, raising its claw toward the cliff carvings. The pale alien limped forward, bowing low. It began to speak in a low, trembling voice. Long ago, fire from sky fell to our world, it said. Inside fire, there was seed, bright, burning alive. It pointed its claw at Alara. That seed lives in you. Alara's chest tightened. Seed? Her blood. Her crew shifted uneasily, confusion written across their faces. The pale alien continued. Your kind took it long ago, hid it, passed it through blood, through stars. Its eyes widened with fear. You are last, the last to carry it. The alien leader's growl rumbled like thunder. That is why bond must be made, it said. With bond, seed wakes, power shared, worlds saved. Its silver eyes narrowed. Without bond, worlds burn. The comms crackled again, the cold voice pressing harder. She lies, Captain. They are beasts, they twist truth. Then, darker, sharper. We want the seed too. Give it to us, and your people live. The words hit her like knives. The aliens wanted her for the seed. The ship above wanted her for the seed. Everyone wanted her blood, her body, her bond. She was not a captain to them. She was a key. Her crew looked at her with wide, uncertain eyes. Some whispered, is it true? Others shook their heads, desperate to deny it. But the fear was there, the doubt too, and Alara felt it press against her chest like a second weight. The alien leader stepped closer again, its presence towering, unstoppable. You choose now, it growled. Bond with me, save us all. The comm's voice cut across his growl. Or give yourself to us, save your crew. Two choices, both poisoned. Two paths, both heavy with chains. And the truth that no matter which she chose, she would never be free. Alara's eyes burned with fire. Her voice came steady, louder than the howls and the calms. Then maybe, she said, I will make a third choice. The alien's silver eyes flashed. The pack howled. The ship above charged its weapons, and mist boiled around them. The twist was clear now. Elara was not only caught in prophecy, she was prophecy. The air on the moon crackled like fire trapped in stone. Above, the ship's weapons hummed louder, ready to strike. Below, the alien pack growled, their silver eyes burning through the mist. And in the center stood Elara, her body still, but her spirit unbroken. The alien leader loomed close, towering like a mountain of fur and claws. Bah now, it growled, voice rolling like thunder. Or I'll end here. Its claws stretched toward her once more, an offer and a threat. Behind her, the crew shifted nervously, weapons shaking in their hands. They looked at her not only as captain, but as their only chance. The comms above cut through the tension. Elara, the cold voice said, you cannot trust them. Choose us, and your crew will live. Its tone carried no warmth, only command. It was not request, it was order. Two forces pulled her from both sides. The beast demanded her hand. The ship demanded her surrender. Both saw her not as Elara, not as captain, not as human, but as key, as seed, as prize. Her crew whispered, torn in fear. Captain, maybe the ship can save us, one said. No, the beast speaks truth. The ship will take her, another argued. The words clashed like blades in the air. Every second, loyalty frayed thinner. Doubt poisoned their hearts. Elara raised her hand, silencing them. Her voice came strong, steady. No one decides my fate but me, she said. Her eyes locked on the alien leader first. You say prophecy binds me, that my blood holds power. Her tone sharpened. Yet you never ask me what I choose, only what you demand. The alien growled, its silver eyes narrowing. It had never been spoken to like that. Not by prey, not by equal. The pack stirred uneasily, some growling, some lowering their heads as if shamed. Elara's words had cracked something, not in her crew, but in them. Then she turned her gaze to the sky, to the ship above. And you, she said, voice cutting like steel, you call yourselves saviors, but you come with threats, not mercy. Her words rose louder. If my blood carries power, it is mine, not yours to claim. The comms crackled, silence heavy. Then the voice replied, colder, sharper. You will regret those words. But even through the static, Elara heard something new. Not strength, but anger. Not control, but fear. The alien leader tilted its head, watching her. You defy Skyman, it said. Strong. Its growl rumbled low. But you still refuse bond, why? Elara stepped forward, closing the distance. Her eyes blazed with fire, her voice unshaken. Because a bond force does not bond at all, she said. Prophecy or not, seed or not, I am not yours to take. The words hit like thunder. The alien snarled, claws flexing, mist swirling around it. The crew flinched, expecting fury, violence, death. But the leader did not strike. It paused, staring into her eyes. For the first time, it hesitated. The pack shifted uneasily, growls fading. The pale alien lowered its head, whispering words none could hear. And the leader growled back, torn between rage and something else. Respect, perhaps, or doubt. Above, the ship's weapons flared brighter, beams humming like blades ready to fall. The comm's voice snapped. Elara, surrender now. This is your last chance. The crew turned to her, panic breaking through discipline. One shouted, Captain, if you don't choose, we all die. But Elara did not bend. She stood taller, her voice louder than the ship, louder than the pack. If I must choose, I choose my own path, she declared. No prophecy, no order, no threat will chain me. The alien leader roared, the sound shaking the cliffs. The pack howled, half in fury, half in awe, and the ship above fired a warning beam, scorching the rock beside them. The ground shook, the mist split, the crew stumbled. It was chaos, pure roaring chaos. Yet Elara stood unshaken, her eyes locked on the alien leader, her voice cutting through the storm. If you truly believe in prophecy, then listen. Prophecy is not command, prophecy is choice. She lifted her chin, defiant, unyielding. "And I will not give myself to sky or beast until you prove you are worthy." The alien froze, its silver eyes burning. Its growl turned into something deeper, rougher. Not rage, but challenge. "You dare," it said slowly. "You challenge me?" The comms cut in, furious. "She is lost. Destroy them all." The ship's weapons began to charge for full fire, beams glowing like suns in the mist. The pack roared, ready to leap. The crew screamed, raising weapons in panic. And Ilara, standing in the heart of storm, spoke one last time, her words sharp as blades. "Then let the clash come, here now on my terms." The alien howled. The ship screamed. The ground itself trembled. The clash of wills had begun. Not in blood, not in death, but in choice, in defiance, in fire of spirit. And in that moment, the fate of two worlds balanced on Ilara's voice. The sky cracked with fire. The ship above roared like a storm of steel, its weapons glowing, ready to fall. The pack howled from the mist, their claws scraping stone, eager for blood. And in the middle of it all, Ilara stood with fire in her eyes, unbroken, unyielding. The alien leader raised its claw, silver eyes blazing. "Then clash," it growled. Its pack roared louder, the sound shaking the cliffs. The humans lifted their weapons, fear and rage twisting together. Above, the ship's cannons hummed like suns preparing to explode. But before the first strike could fall, the ground beneath them shook. A low tremor rolled through the black stone. The carvings on the cliffs glowed brighter, burning with strange light. Symbols no human could read, but every alien seemed to know. The pale one fell to its knees, its voice trembling. "It begins," it whispered. "The seed wakes." Ilara gasped as pain lanced through her chest. Not wound, not weapon, but something inside. Her veins burned with fire. Her skin glowed faintly beneath her armor. Her crew cried out, rushing to her side, but she raised a hand. "Stay back," she said, her voice shaking but strong. Her eyes widened, light flickering in them like stars trapped inside. The alien leader froze, its growl cut short. Its silver eyes widened, not in rage but in awe. "You true," it whispered. "You are seed." The ship above faltered for a moment, its weapons dimming. The comm's voice returned, sharper, desperate. "Restrain her now." There was no more calm, no more command, only fear. The ground split open with a roar. From the cracks rose streams of white fire, glowing veins of energy buried deep in the moon. The mist burned away, replaced by light too bright to look at. The crew shielded their eyes, their hearts racing. The pack lowered their heads, howls turning into chants. The pale alien cried louder. "Prophecy fulfilled, Star Woman awakens." Ilara staggered, her body trembling. The fire inside her spread, burning yet not destroying. Her voice echoed, layered, as if more than one spoke. "What is happening to me?" she cried. Her words carried through the mist, through the sky, through the ship itself. The alien leader stepped closer, bowing his head for the first time. "You are bond of worlds," he said. "You hold power to heal, or burn all." The comm's voice screamed in fury. "She is unstable. Destroy her before she breaks." The ship's weapons flared again, brighter than before. The cannons pointed not at the aliens, not at the crew, but directly at Ilara. Her crew shouted in panic, "Captain, move! Run!" But Ilara did not move. Her body glowed brighter, her skin burning with symbols like those on the cliff. Her veins of light pulsed with every heartbeat, and deep inside her chest, something stirred. Not human, not alien, something older. The alien leader lifted its head, silver eyes fierce. "No," it roared at the sky. "If she dies, all die." The pack howled in rage, their voices shaking the air. But the ship did not listen. The cannons fired, beams of burning light racing toward her. At that instant, the fire inside Ilara erupted. A wave of white energy burst from her body. The beams shattered before they could strike, breaking like glass against the storm. The shockwave rolled across the land, knocking humans, aliens, and even the pack to their knees. The ship above shuddered, its engines screaming, its lights flickering. For a moment, the great machine itself seemed afraid. Alara fell to her knees, gasping. Her hands glowed, her chest burned. She felt every thought, every breath, every heartbeat of those around her, human and alien alike. It was overwhelming, crushing, endless. Yet inside that storm, one truth echoed. She was no longer only herself. She was seed, she was bond, she was prophecy. The alien leader crawled closer, bowing low. "Now you understand," it said. "You cannot refuse bond. Bond is inside you already." Her crew stared at her in shock, torn between fear and awe. Lieutenant Wren whispered, "Captain, are you still you?" The question cut deeper than any blade. Was she still Alara, or had the prophecy already claimed her? The ship above reeled from the blast, its comms voice returning, broken, frantic. "She cannot control it. She will destroy you all." Its tone had shifted again, not command, not threat, but desperation, because now they were afraid. The ground still glowed with white cracks. The cliffs still burned with symbols. The pack still howled her name in voices both wild and worshipful. And Alara stood, trembling, her eyes blazing with starfire. Her voice echoed across the battlefield. "If I am seed," she said, "then I will decide how it grows." The alien leader raised its head slowly, silver eyes shining with both respect and hunger. The comm's voice screamed her name, ordering her to yield. Her crew stood frozen, not knowing if she was still theirs, and the world itself seemed to hold its breath. Then the moon cracked again, a deeper roar splitting the stone. Something vast stirred beneath the surface. Something older than alien, older than human. The ground shook, the fire blazed higher, and Alara's voice broke through the storm, trembling but fierce. "This is only the beginning." The light consumed them all, and the screen went black.